Hey, what's good, my fellow masters? Lostbelt 7 is just around the corner, and of course, this means a pre-release campaign for it. Just officially announced is the LB7 pre-release story clear support campaign, and it has a fair amount of goodies to be had. So here's an overview of it. First off, this is just part 1 of the pre-release, and it's scheduled to run from November 19th to the 26th. From the start of this campaign until December 31st, AP costs will be 0 for the Part 1 main story quests and Part 2 main quests up to and including Lostbelt 6. However, this does not include Part 1.5 Epic of Remnant, nor Lostbelt 5.5 FGO and Lostbelt 6.5 Trom. Moving on to some rewards we can get. This first installment of the campaign has 2 sets of limited master missions, and I'm glad to say a decent amount of combined SQ rewards if you can get them all cleared in time. The first set has 7 missions that last until November 26th. Complete 1 main story quest node between Part 1 and Part 2 Tunguska Epilogue, and gain 1 Saint Quartz, 3 5-star EXP cards, and a couple of Leyline stones. Complete 2 and 3 main story quest nodes and receive the same rewards, except for the 5-star EXP cards for the third mission, which increases the reward from 3 to 5 cards. Missions 4, 5, and 6 reward 2 SQ each, just 1 Leyline stone, and the EXP cards increase to 8 for missions 5 and 6. And lastly, mission 7 gives 3 SQ, 8 5-star EXP cards, and a Leyline stone upon completion. All combined, we can count on adding 12 SQ from these missions to our savings. The second set of limited missions are related to Lostbelt 6, and thus the time period for this set lasts until December 31st. Just 4 missions in total. Clear the LB6 prologue intro and gain a rare prism. Clear LB6 acts 1 and 2 to get a 4-star attack and HP foe card respectively. Then the last mission of completing the third act of LB6 rewards 10 SQ. For those that have cleared the LB6 prologue intro, then for a period from the start of this campaign until December 31st, all servant enhancements will have double the chance of super and great success. And let me tell you now, it's advisable to have as many servants as possible leveled up when dealing with the upcoming Lostbelt 7. So try to use the resources gathered up from the Tamlin Cup Lotto event and increase your servant roster size as much as possible. Plus, doing so will provide some extra SQ as well. If you happen to be on a long break from playing FGO, and for some reason watching my content, which I really appreciate by the way, then this could be a good time to come back to the game. There will be a returning master login bonus with SQ rewards of up to 30 quartz. A total of 14 login bonuses are available, and along with the SQ, there are 14,000 friend points, 18 4-star EXP cards, and 18 golden apples to be gained. To be eligible for this returning master login bonus, you need to have cleared Fuyuki and not have logged into the game between August 31st and November 19th. Now, keep in mind this is just the first part of the Lostbelt 7 pre-release campaign. There is more to come, and if there are no changes from how it occurred on JP, then we can look forward to 3 more parts, all with more of those sweet SQ rewards. Another 48 of them in fact, to add to the 22 from this first part of the campaign. Then we come to the campaign's pickup summon banner, and one that kicks off a period from now until the end of the year where seriously compelling servants will be available to summon, including 3 of the big meta support units. And arguably the best of them is featured on this banner, the limited SSR Artoria caster. Now, sure, I'm a huge Saberface stan, but it's not my bias coming out when I say, if you don't have Castoria, then you should roll for her. She is an incredibly useful support unit to have in your roster. First off, she is an absolute must if you want to make your arts team as effective as possible. A targetable 50% buff to arts cards, plus a combined NP charge of 50% for your main attacker? What's not to love? Then there's Castoria's utility for multi-core teams. Her ability to provide a party-wide NP charge of 30%, along with buffing everyone's attack by 20%, can make so many different multi-core setups work. Furthermore, her targetable 20% NP charge that also buffs the party's NP generation adds on another level of multi-core support. And if your team comp just needs an extra bit of firepower for that second or third wave, Castoria's NP effect of boosting the party's attack another 30% at NP1 can make all the difference. Of course, we can't forget the other effects of her top class support type NP. For those challenge quests and the like, it can remove the party's debuffs, and perhaps most famously, it gives the party the anti-enforcement defense buff, which is basically invincibility that cannot be pierced or ignored. The number of attacks it will absorb scales with the overcharge level of the MP, maxing out at 5 hits for 3 turns. Which brings up another point, the so-called immortal team comp. I think there are a few variations now, but one of the key elements to this comp is Castoria for her anti-enforcement defense buff. I mentioned it in my recent Morgan banner video, but put together a team composed of Castoria, Merlin, and Morgan, and you have a team that can handle so many different types of challenge content. So yeah, Castoria can do a lot, even outside of just strictly arts teams. But what if you're in a situation where you don't have the other 2 meta support units coming up? Well, my recommendation would be to prioritize Castoria over Coin Sky of Light and Oberon, based on the overall depth of what she can bring to the table. I think Castoria generally offers a greater range of abilities than either Coin Sky or Oberon. Ideally, you would have enough SQ to roll for all 3 of them. But if that's just not feasible for you, then Castoria would be my pick. The good news is Coin Sky and Oberon both have future banners, so no need to fear missing out. The downside is the further waiting for their next banners. However, if you just have your heart set on either Coin Sky or Oberon, or even someone else, Castoria will have another banner expected in September 2025. Castoria will also have banners in March 2026, and October-ish 2026. For those that can wait no longer to obtain this caster version of Artoria, she will be available from November 19th to the 26th. And as if to say, here's an awesome art servant to go along with Castoria, the limited SSR rider Leonardo da Vinci is also on this banner. This small version of Da Vinci-chan is an AoE arts unit and easily one of the best looping units in the game. She has a really nice kit with a 3-turn debuff immunity for those gimmicky battles, a buff that both charges her NP gauge for 20% and heals herself for a decent amount per turn for 3 turns each. For some burst damage, Da Vinci-chan can boost her critical strength by a good amount for a turn. And for emergencies, she has a 1-hit evasion. Multi-core utility-wise, she can provide a party-wide NP damage increase for a few turns, a small 10% NP charge for the party, and overcharge all her allies' NP by 1 stage. Furthermore, Da Vinci's AoE NP also has the effect of charging the party's NP gauge by 20%. And for herself offensively, the overcharge effect of the NP gives her a 1-turn arts performance buff that scales with OC level. Something to look forward to in the future is a skill rank up for Rider Da Vinci that will add a 3-turn 10 crit star generation effect to the party. Overall, I think Rider Da Vinci is really quite good, but if she has a downside, it would be that her general NP damage output lags behind in comparison to other SSR AoE riders. So much so that I believe it was typically recommended to get her to MP2 when she first came out. Alternatively, since she would likely be teamed up with a Castoria or 2, Da Vinci's damage can be augmented with the use of Castoria's NP, something that's fairly easy to do with Da Vinci's NP providing charge for the party's gauge whenever it's fired off. Bottom line for me, if you're looking for an AoE rider, then I think Rider Da Vinci would be a good choice. Personally speaking, Da Vinci is my main AoE rider and I love how well she performs. But if the timing is just bad, and who are we kidding, it probably is for most, then you can try for her in the future. Rider Da Vinci will have banners expected in June 2025 and November 2026. For this banner, Da Vinci-chan will be on Raid Up from November 24th through to December 1st. And that's the overview for the first installment of the LB7 pre-release campaign. I wish everyone who is rolling for Castoria or Da Vinci EX plus luck. Hope you enjoy this video in some way, and if so, please hit that like button to support the channel. Many thanks for watching, and until the next one, cheers!